Welcome to this deep dive, and we're going to be taking a look at George R.R. Martin's A Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And we're going to be looking at excerpts specifically from the book, focusing on a few of the storylines.
Right.
So we're going to be looking at the threat from beyond the wall, the struggle for power in the Seven Kingdoms, and then also the destinies of a couple of families, the Starks and the Lannisters.
Great.
Yeah. So this deep dive is really going to offer kind of like a glimpse into this world with a focus on some of the details that might surprise you.
Yeah, it's amazing how Martin, right away immerses us in this world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he doesn't just describe the wall. He, makes you feel that biting cold through the eyes of those Night's Watch Rangers.
Yeah.
And it really, sets the stage for the dangers to come.
Right from the start, that scene beyond the wall with Will and Garrett and Sir Waymar Royce.
Right.
It's so unsettling. Just the way that he describes the cold is so vivid. It's almost like a character itself.
And it foreshadows, the true enemy, the others. And they just emerge from this darkness, and their armor is shifting. And it really represents this, mystical and formidable threat.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because this encounter, it highlights the arrogance of those who just underestimate that danger.
Mm-hmm.
And it really sets the stage for that central conflict.
It makes you wonder, is the wall just a physical barrier, or is it something more?
That's a great question. I think the wall really symbolizes that boundary between the known world and the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
It represents the limits of human understanding and this constant threat of chaos.
Yeah.
It's a very powerful image that resonates throughout the entire story.
It ties into the history of Westeros, too. We get these glimpses of the ancient pact between the first men and the children of the forest.
Right.
A time when magic was more prevalent.
Exactly. And those weirwood trees with their carved faces and that sap that looks like blood, they serve as a reminder of this ancient power in the old gods.
Yep.
And, they hint at a much deeper mystical layer to this world, suggesting that the past is not easily forgotten.
And what about the Night's Watch? They're tasked with guarding the wall, but are they truly prepared for what's coming?
That's a crucial point because the Night's Watch faces dwindling numbers and a lack of support from the South.
Right.
They are very ill-equipped to face that true threat. And that execution scene that Jon and Bran witness, that really underscores the harsh realities of life on the wall and the weight of their duty.
The excerpts don't just focus on the supernatural, though.
Right.
We're thrown into the political landscape of Westeros with its seven kingdoms and the iconic Iron Throne.
The Iron Throne embodies the ultimate power in this world.
Yeah.
And the families vying for control, the Starks, Lannisters, Baratheons, Targaryens, they each have their own motivations and baggage.
Their sigils and words are so fascinating.
Yes.
The Starks, with their direwolf and Winter is Coming, embody honor and duty. While the Lannisters, with their golden lion and hear me roar, hint at ambition and ruthlessness. It seems like that rivalry is at the heart of the story.
It is, and to understand this rivalry, we need to look back at Robert's rebellion.
Okay.
Rhaegar Targaryen, the crown prince, allegedly kidnapped Lyanna Stark, which led to this war that reshaped Westeros. And Jaime Lannister earned the name Kingslayer for killing the Mad King Aerys Targaryen.
Right.
And it's this history that fuels the current tension, particularly with Jon Arryn's death, the Hand of the King.
Right.
His death really raises questions about who really holds the power in King's Landing.
Speaking of the Starks, their children, Robb, Sansa, Arya, Bran, Rickon, and Jon Snow.
Yes.
They're all thrown headfirst into this drama.
Each child embodies different aspects of their family and faces unique challenges.
Right.
But you really see this strong bond between them, especially between Jon and Robb and Jon and Arya.
Yeah.
And those direwolves found by the children.
Right.
They're more than just pets. They symbolize a connection to the old ways.
Yeah.
And foreshadow the challenges that lie ahead.
Sansa and Arya, though, seem to have very different dreams for their futures.
Yes. Sansa, enamored by stories of knights and chivalry, she yearns for that courtly romance.
Right.
But Arya rejects traditional femininity and finds solace in swordplay.
Right.
These contrasting aspirations highlight the very different paths available to women in this world.
And then there's Bran.
Yeah.
His fall from the tower. It's a huge turning point.
Yes.
It seems like somebody tried to silence him.
Bran's fall is a catalyst for much of the conflict that unfolds. The attempts to uncover the truth with suspicion falling on the Lannisters sets off a chain of events that will reshape the Seven Kingdoms. And this event also highlights the dangers of curiosity and the lengths to which people will go to protect their secrets.
While all of this is unfolding, there's another story brewing across the Narrow Sea. Daenerys Targaryen, the exiled heir to the Targaryen dynasty.
Daenerys begins as a pawn in her brother Viserys' schemes. He is obsessed with reclaiming the Iron Throne. And forces her into this marriage with Khal Drogo, the leader of the Dothraki.
The Dothraki are a fierce nomadic people known for their warrior culture and their brutal customs.
Yes.
Her marriage to Khal Drogo must be terrifying for her. How does she navigate this?
It's a trial by fire for her. Initially frightened and vulnerable, Daenerys begins to adapt to the Dothraki culture and earns the respect of her people. And we start to see these hints of her strength and her potential to become a powerful leader.
And her wedding gift.
Yes!
3 petrified dragon eggs.
Those eggs, they seem to represent something more than just a present.
Yeah, what do they symbolize?
The dragon eggs symbolize the return of magic and Daenerys' potential to disrupt that established order. They hint at the Targaryen legacy and the possibility of her reclaiming her birthright.
Back in King's Landing, the tension between the Starks and Lannisters intensifies.
The
discovery of a Valyrian steel dagger, the same type used in the attempt on Bran's life, becomes crucial to uncovering the truth.
Ned Stark's investigation into the dagger's owner leads him down a very dangerous path. He uncovers this web of deceit and betrayal that ultimately leads to his arrest.
Ned's arrest is a turning point. It sets off this chain of events that throws the Seven Kingdoms into chaos.
It's a stark reminder of the price of honor and the ruthlessness of this Game of Thrones. Littlefinger, a master manipulator, plays a key role in Ned's downfall. And his betrayal highlights the danger of trusting those who operate solely out of self-interest.
Ned's arrest also has repercussions for others. Tyrion Lannister is taken captives by Catelyn Stark, and Robb Stark calls his banners declaring war against the Lannisters.
From this point on, the characters' paths diverge dramatically. We see glimpses of Tyrion's cunning as he faces trial by combat, Jon Snow's journey to the Wall, and Daenerys' growing connection to her dragons.
The excerpts end with these rising tensions and the threat of war looming over Westeros. It feels like everything is about to change.
What's remarkable is how these personal stories are interwoven with these grand political schemes. Martin reminds us that even in a world of magic and dragons, it's the choices of individuals driven by ambition, loyalty, and desire that shape the course of history.
It truly is a Game of Thrones.
It is.
Where everyone is a player, whether they realize it or not. And with so much at stake, what will the cost of playing this game be for these characters?
That's a question we'll explore further as we delve deeper into the themes of honor, identity, and the nature of power in part 2 of this deep dive.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. You know, it's interesting how Martin explores this concept of honor. Through characters like Ned Stark, he's presented as this beacon of morality. But is that enough in this world?
Yeah, you see that unwavering commitment to honor, especially during his investigation into Jon Arryn's death. Even when he's warned about the dangers he persists. He's determined to uncover the truth.
And his decision to warn Cersei about the truth of her children's parentage? That's pure Ned Stark. He prioritizes honor and duty even when it jeopardizes his own safety.
But that same honor leads to his downfall.
Exactly.
He misjudges his enemies, believing they'll adhere to some code of conduct.
He underestimates Cersei's ambition and fails to grasp the ruthlessness of the game. Ned's arrest and execution serve as a brutal lesson. Honor doesn't guarantee survival in this world.
It makes you think about characters like Littlefinger, who thrives on manipulating others. His betrayal of Ned is such a stark contrast to Ned's unwavering sense of honor.
Littlefinger embodies a different kind of power. One based on cunning and manipulation. He understands the intricacies of the game. And he exploits the weaknesses of those who cling to honor.
His actions raise a crucial question. Is it possible to truly win the Game of Thrones while remaining honorable?
That's the question, isn't it? Then you have Tyrion Lannister, who's a bit of an enigma. He's intelligent and witty, but also carries the burden of his dwarfism. So how does he navigate this world? Tyrion uses his intellect and wit as weapons.
Yeah.
He understands the rules of the game, but he isn't afraid to bend them to his advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And his escape from the Eyrie, with the help of Bronn the Sellsword,
Yeah.
it highlights his resourcefulness.
And his relationship with Bronn is interesting, too. It seems more practical than genuine.
Their partnership is a prime example of how alliances form in Westeros.
Hmm.
It's not always about friendship.
Right.
It's about survival.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrion needs Bronn's fighting skills, and Bronn is loyal to whoever pays him.
Right.
Together, they create a formidable pair.
Jon Snow's journey to the Wall provides kind of a different perspective.
Mm.
He arrives expecting camaraderie and this noble purpose,
Right.
but he's met with a very harsh reality.
Jon, carrying that stark sense of honor and duty, is very disillusioned by the Night's Watch.
Yeah.
He encounters bullying, prejudice, and a general apathy towards the real threat beyond the Wall.
He clashes with Sir Alliser Thorne,
Oh, yes.
who seems to relish in making life difficult for the recruits.
Hmm.
Yet amidst this grim atmosphere of Castle Black, Jon finds an unexpected friendship with Samwell Tarly.
Jon and Sam's bond really showcases the power of empathy
Mm-hmm.
in a world where it's often lacking.
Right.
Despite his own struggles, Jon sees Sam's goodness and potential and chooses to protect and mentor him.
Now, shifting focus to Daenerys, her journey is pretty remarkable.
It is.
She starts as this timid pawn controlled by her brother,
Right.
but we witness this transformation into a leader.
Her forced marriage to Khal Drogo thrusts her into this brutal and unfamiliar world.
Mhm.
Yet she adapts, she learns the customs,
Right.
and ultimately commands respect.
And the scene where she eats that stallion's heart,
Oh, yes.
that is such a pivotal moment.
It's a visceral and symbolic act.
Yeah. What does that tell us about her evolution?
It signifies her transition from a frightened girl to a Khaleesi, a powerful leader willing to embrace the Dothraki way. We really see her strength and determination emerge
Yeah.
as she navigates this harsh environment.
And let's not forget the hatching of her dragon eggs.
Oh, right.
Those dragons are more than just creatures, they're symbols, right?
Absolutely. The dragons represent the return of magic,
Mhm.
a force that has long been dormant in Westeros.
Mm-hmm.
They signify Daenerys' potential to challenge the established order and reclaim her birthright.
It seems like so many of these characters are wrestling with who they are and where they belong.
Identity is a central theme in these excerpts.
Yeah.
Jon Snow, labeled a bastard, struggles to find his place, constantly reminded of his illegitimacy.
Right.
You know, he yearns for acceptance and a sense of belonging, a struggle that I think many can relate to.
Arya Stark also defies expectations.
Yes, she does.
She rejects these traditional roles assigned to women, finding more comfort in swordplay than needlework.
Arya's defiance highlights the limitations placed on women in this society
Mm-hmm.
and her determination to forge her own path.
It raises the question, can individuals truly define themselves amidst societal pressures and expectations?
That's a good question.
Even Sansa, who initially seems so drawn to courtly life,
Right.
faces a harsh awakening.
Yes.
Her idealized vision of Prince Joffrey is shattered as she witnesses his cruelty.
Sansa's experience forces her to confront the realities of power. It challenges her romantic notions and pushes her to reevaluate her place in this world.
Daenerys also undergoes a significant transformation. Starting as a pawn in her brother's schemes, she evolves into this powerful leader embracing her role as Khaleesi.
Her journey underscores the power of embracing one's true identity.
Yeah.
It suggests that identity isn't fixed. It's something we shape through our choices and experiences.
So we see these characters scattered across this vast world, each facing unique challenges and making choices that will have lasting consequences.
Right.
It feels like they're all playing this intricate game with very high stakes.
What's brilliant about Martin's work is that it goes beyond fantasy. He delves into these universal themes, the nature of power, the complexities of family, the struggle for identity
Right.
that resonate with us all.
It makes you think, how do those who seem powerless find agency in a world dominated by those with immense political and military might?
We see glimpses of it in characters like Arya and Tyrion. They use their wit and their resilience to navigate a world that often seeks to diminish them.
Yeah.
They offer a glimmer of hope, suggesting that even in the face of overwhelming odds, individuals can find ways to resist, adapt, and even subvert the established order.
And as we continue our exploration in part 3, it's important to remember that even in this world of magic and dragons, it's the choices made by individuals that shape the course of history.
That's right.
Their struggles, their betrayals, and their triumphs offer this powerful reflection on the human condition. It's amazing how Martin uses symbolism to kind of add depth to the story.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, those direwolves, they're more than just pets to the Stark children, right?
Absolutely. The direwolves represent a connection to the old ways of Westeros, a time when magic was more prevalent,
Right.
and their fates seem intertwined with the children's,
Hmm.
adding this layer of mystical significance to the narrative.
And those dragon eggs that Daenerys receives,
Oh, yeah.
they're not just some fancy wedding gift.
Right.
It seems like they represent something much bigger.
They do. The dragon eggs symbolize the return of magic to a world that had seemingly forgotten it.
Mm-hmm.
They represent Daenerys' potential to challenge the existing power structure and reclaim her family's legacy.
Yeah.
The hatching of the dragons, that's a powerful moment.
Right.
A rebirth, not only for Daenerys, but perhaps for magic itself in Westeros.
It's like the imagery goes beyond just telling a story. It adds another layer of meaning to everything.
Right.
Even the wall, with its sheer size in ancient history,
Yeah.
it feels like more than just a physical barrier.
The wall serves as a powerful metaphor.
Okay.
It represents the boundaries we construct, both physically and mentally.
Mm-hmm.
It embodies the limits of human understanding and that constant struggle against the forces of chaos.
Yeah.
But as we see in the excerpts, these boundaries are often challenged, sometimes broken,
Right.
forcing characters to confront the unknown and redefine their understanding of the world.
So we've got all these symbols kind of woven throughout the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
But for someone who's new to this world, it can feel a bit overwhelming.
Sure.
How can a listener really grasp the depth of what Martin's doing here?
Paying attention to the details is key.
Oh.
Notice the recurring motifs, the way that Martin uses language to create a sense of wonder or dread.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be afraid to ask questions, to make connections, and to embrace the ambiguity.
Right.
The more you engage with the story, the richer it becomes.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion.
Mm-hmm.
Each layer reveals something new and intriguing.
Exactly.
And for those already familiar with this story,
Yeah.
it's a chance to revisit those early moments and discover things they might have missed the first time around.
A deep dive like this encourages us to look beyond the surface,
Yeah.
to appreciate the complexity of Martin's world building and the depth of his characters.
So we've explored the looming threat beyond the wall, the intricate web of politics in the Seven Kingdoms, and the personal journeys of characters like the Starks and Daenerys.
Right.
We've touched upon themes of honor, identity, and the nature of power, all within a world on the brink of war.
And remember, these excerpts are just a small glimpse into this vast world that Martin has created.
Right.
There's so much more to discover, layers upon layers of history lore and these intricate relationships.
Yeah, it's really amazing.
It's a world that rewards curiosity and invites multiple interpretations.
We hope this deep dive has sparked your interest in the world of Game of Thrones.
Mm.
It's a story that challenges us to think about the choices we make, the values we hold, and the forces that shape our destinies.
As you continue exploring this world, remember to keep your eyes open, your mind sharp, and embrace the challenge of unraveling the mysteries that await.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep those minds engaged.